basically known as Codex Alimentarius, are trying to soften the public to bring in legislation to try and ban vitamins, restrict dosages so they become ineffective, and therefore wipe out one of their main competitors in the free marketplace. What does Nicola have to say about that?
Well, that's an absolute fact. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. This is something that we believe for some time, and I think this shows that we're probably going to get a rise in anti-nutrient, anti-vitamin propaganda like this. And I'd like to see, what kind of pressure can be put on TV3 and supposedly responsible broadcasters to rebuff this with some balanced journalism that shows the other side of the story, where thousands and thousands of New Zealanders are getting huge benefits from using over-the-counter and professionally prescribed nutrients in fairly high doses in some cases, in other cases in fairly modest doses, for patients who prefer not to use drug therapies or want alternatives. And, of course, that's what Health Freedom is all about.
Yes.
So congratulations, Nicola. You've done a very good job, and I think it's really good to heighten the awareness of how biased this documentary was.
Well, notice no one else is doing anything, David?
No, I think it's important.
I mean, it's just gone over everyone. I mean...
Can I make a comment also? I was asked to go on a documentary by TV3 twice, in 2005 and 2003. One of the executive producers, Keith Slater at the time, was doing a pilot for a documentary on alternative therapies and nutrients. And we were told that the pilot was pulled because drug companies threatened to withdraw advertising if it was shown.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we know that
really going on behind the scenes, and I agree with Nicola 100%. There's a lot of bias going on in scientific circles. I think 20% of fraud that was shown in the Nature study, the Nature magazine study, was just the tip of the iceberg. We know there's a lot of fraud going on from pharmaceutical company-driven research, and the public needs to wake up to it.
Yes, indeed.
So, thank you.
Well, look, thank you very much.
I think David raises a really important issue there too, and that's something that this program can perhaps forewarn us about, and that is that there usually is always some massive propaganda against vitamins when a new drug is about to be launched. And towards the end, the two so-called medical experts came in and they said, oh, no, we're not anti-vitamins. We think you should all be taking vitamin D supplements. It's just not A, C, and E because they can kill you. Now, you see, A, C, and E compete with major drugs. There are people that take those so that they don't have to take drugs, or they take them in place of their drugs because they find that it's easier for their systems, and or for whatever reason that they choose to do that. But you can bet your bottom dollar, as soon as there's a drug out there that will enhance your vitamin D production, we will start seeing propaganda coming out saying vitamin D supplements are harmful. We're not seeing it right now because it's not competing with any major drug. And this is the same with vitamin B. There's never been any propaganda about how harmful vitamin B is, the stress, B complex are the stress vitamins, because there hasn't been any drugs. But there's a new drug that they're wanting to push through the FDA very fast at the moment, which is going to compete with vitamin B6 and 12. So obviously they want to wipe the competition out. So when the drug comes out, they don't have any competition for their drug. So watch out, it's like you heard it first here with the Health Freedom. There'll soon be propaganda about how bad vitamin D supplements are because there'll be a drug coming onto the market for it. But, even the Ministry of Health admits that the major cause of so much of the chronic diseases that we've got right now is malnutrition. We are not getting enough nutrition.
That's right.
We are not getting it from our food because our soils have been so depleted from our farming practices. Like if you eat broccoli today, it has so much less iron in it today than it did 20, 30, 40 years ago.
That's right.
And it's not just broccoli, it's others. In fact, I can actually give you a statistic that was taken in Canada on that one. in 1951, broccoli, 3 spears of broccoli contained 1.3 milligrams of iron. In 1999, 0.86. That is how much we are depleting our soils, and so therefore we're not getting the nutrients in our food, which is precisely why we need to supplement.
Anyway, Nicola, we've got Steve online. Kia ora, Steve. Are you there, Steve?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you. You want to talk to Nicola?
Nicola, yes, please.
Okay, Nicola, there we are.
Hey, Steve, you have a question?
Yeah, hi, Nicola. How you doing?
Hey, good.
Great, what you're doing against this scandal that was on TV.
Thank you.
I love the action you're taking. Need somebody to stand out and take this action for us. Yeah, I've got a few stories myself about vitamins and minerals. 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with arthritis, and my wife wisely informed me that we ought to go the natural way rather than take the anti-inflammatories that the doctor wanted to take, and my arthritis disappeared in 10 years pain-free. So that was just minerals, vitamins and antioxidants. Well, in that 10 years since I've been pain-free, I know for a fact that one arthritis drug has been withdrawn because it had an unfortunate side effect. It was killing people. 55,000 people died of heart attacks from Vioxx. That was an arthritis drug. Just on that vitamin D thing, my father-in-law has smoked cigarettes from the age of 9 years old to 79.
Oh.
Never got lung cancer. Now, the thing is, I know that there are certain foods that are rich in vitamin D, and my father used to almost live on them. And vitamin D is known to protect against lung cancer. He used to eat lots of lard, which is rich in vitamin D, and offal, which a lot of people don't eat anymore.
Maoris do.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
But things like oily fish as well, you get vitamin D from oily fish.
Oily fish, okay.
Yeah, and it's been absolutely proved that virtually the whole planet is vitamin D deficient. Vitamin D is probably the most researched vitamin now on the internet. If you look on the internet, there's absolutely tons of information about vitamin D. Again, thanks. Just one other thing, that I've done some research in an illness called pellagra. Have you ever heard of pellagra?
Yes, I've just heard of that. Yeah. Anyway, you tell it, Steve.
It's a vitamin B3 deficiency, and it caused skin problems initially.
Yes.
But the ultimate problem with pellagra was death through insanity.
Oh, right.
And that's accepted, in the medical community as a vitamin B3. I mean, and pernicious anemia is a vitamin B12 deficiency. So these are recognized deficiencies. So the doctors, they can't have it both ways. They can't tell us that we're deficient on one hand and then tell us it's going to kill us on the other hand.
I think the health sciences, the English group.
Yes.
They've been. They do a lot of research, and I think that's where I've read about this pellagra.
Yeah. And when you look back at vitamin C, Nicola was saying how much information there is there about vitamin C. How healthy it is. It took the prestigious English doctors 200 years to acknowledge that it was lack of vitamin C that was causing scurvy. And literally millions of sailors died just because the prestigious English doctors wouldn't accept a witch doctor cure because it was Red Indians in America who was telling them that it was a vitamin C deficiency basically. They used to make up a tea and give it to the sailors, the Red Indians, and it cured their scurvy, and all the tea had in it was pine leaves, pine bark.